Today you will discover the fundamental rules of communication, specific techniques on how to keep a woman interested, how to respond to her tests, and most importantly, at the very end, I will reveal to you a secret technique used only by true masters of attraction. Almost no one talks about it publicly, but it is exactly what turns an ordinary man into the kind of male that women want to be with. So watch carefully until the end. And remember, what you hear today can radically change how women will react to you already on your next date. Before we move on to specific methods, let me tell you one thing you must remember for the rest of your life. This is the fundamental rule without which nothing else will work. A male acts on feelings, while a man acts on logic. Engrave this in your memory, burn it into your mind, hang it on your wall, whatever you want, but never forget it. A woman subconsciously chooses not by a list of characteristics, not by your income, not by your resume, and not even by your looks. She chooses by what she feels when she is next to you. If you don't trigger emotions in her, that's it, you've lost before you even started. Think about it. How many times have you tried to impress a woman by doing the right things? Flowers, compliments, sweet questions, guessing her wishes. And how did it end? She smiled, thanked you, and then said, "You're nice, but I don't see you as a partner." I've had plenty of those moments myself. Why? Because all of that is logic, and what she needs is emotion. She needs a man next to whom her heart beats faster, her thoughts get tangled, and desire awakens inside. Why am I saying this? If you keep acting in the standard way, you will have to endlessly please her, and even that doesn't guarantee you'll ever get close. Every woman has her own rules on which date to allow the first kiss, when it's okay to become intimate, what conditions have to line up, but these are just fantasies, scripts in her head. It's a stage play she has painted for herself while growing up, absorbing movies, books, and the stories of others. And if you follow that path, you'll literally have to bend yourself to fit into her imaginary script. And we don't need that. Her ego ideal will never match reality, just like ours. The truth is different. Emotions break her rules. Where logic says, too soon, feelings say, let's do it right now. And this is exactly where we apply pressure. Because a woman may tell herself 1,000 times, I'm not that type, but if you light up desire inside her, she will forget all her scripts and be with you. Now let's move on to what matters to us and start by breaking down this: how to behave around a woman during communication. The biggest mistake most men make is that when they are next to a woman, they start fussing. Thoughts instantly race in their head. Does she like me? What should I say not to mess it up? How do I act to impress her? And the moment you let that anxious thought appear, the woman senses it all. She sees you're tense, that you're afraid to lose her, even though you haven't actually won her yet. And in that moment, you turn into one of the hundreds of guys who are ready to jump around her for the smallest smile. Remember the golden rule of behavior around a woman. You must act in such a way that she herself wonders, does he even like me? Did he set his eyes on me? Does he want me? This element of mystery and subtle ambiguity in your behavior instantly raises your value. I like to compare it to a lazy, well-fed cat. Such a cat doesn't run after every piece of food. It's confident it will get what it wants. It can even turn away from what's offered. And that is exactly why women feel he is not hungry and not dependent on the result. Your job is to be that well-fed cat. Don't shake over every reaction. Don't search for approval in her eyes, but live your life and let her understand. You can be in it or not. The choice is mine. Now, an important shift in your head. Drop the thought, what can I offer her, and replace it with the question, what can she offer me? How will she make my life better? This completely changes the dynamic of communication. You're not asking her permission to be with you. You're checking whether she is worthy to take a place in your world. And believe me, women feel this instantly.
How does this look in reality? Let's say you invite her to spend the evening together. The mistake most guys make is that they start hesitating, asking, "Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Would it be comfortable for you if..." From that moment, you've already lost because you gave her the leading role. But the right man decides himself. He says, "Tonight we're going there. It's going to be great." The maximum you clarify is your time free for this? That's it. You lead, she follows you. And the more you lead, the more she gets that inner feeling, here he is, a man. This is the kind of man I want to be with. Remember, you are looking for a woman for yourself, not yourself for a woman. You don't need to crawl, bend over, or sacrifice everything just to please. They don't like such men and immediately cross them out. A woman values someone who is self-sufficient, who is not afraid to lose her, who doesn't make her the center of his universe. And only next to such a man does she truly feel like a woman. I want to ask you, how do you usually act when you're next to a woman? Do you start pleasing and shaking, or do you really lead her as the one in charge? Right now, pause this video and write about it in the comments. I want to know your experience. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It really motivates me. Now, let's break down the most important thing: how to talk to a woman the right way. Face the truth. 90% of guys talk to women as if they came to interrogate them. Where do you work? What are your hobbies? What food do you like? And there he is, poor guy, trying his best, while the woman inside is thinking, "God, when will this end?" This kind of talk doesn't spark anything. With this, you will never create emotion. That's why I'll give you a simple but very powerful conversation formula that always works and that I personally use. Listen carefully. First, ask her a question, but not a dry one, a lively one with genuine interest. Second, from her answer, find a hook, something you can develop further. Third, make a small evaluation or playful comment. And fourth, add a bit of teasing, a joke, or intrigue to stir up her emotions. This formula turns a regular conversation into a game, and women love games much more than boring interviews. Here's an example. She says, "I like cooking." The average guy answers, "What exactly do you like to cook?" and ends up in another total dead end of progress. But you can say, "Oh, you cook? Well then, I have a serious question. If I come to your place, will I survive or will we have to order pizza?" And look at what happens. You asked about her interest, but then you added an evaluation, a joke, a light challenge. And now she's smiling. She's already engaged. Remember, conversation is always flirting. It's not just an exchange of information, it's a game of emotions. You give her a reason to laugh, to be surprised, to argue with you, and most importantly, to think about you even after the meeting. Because it's emotions, not facts, that captivate a woman's mind. And one more important point. Never, and I mean never, use diminutive pet names in the early stages of communication. All those bunny, cutie, kitty undercut your value. That only works when you already have intimacy, when you've moved to another level of closeness. Before that, such words sound like you're trying to force her affection, and a strong man doesn't do that. I want you right now to imagine. You're in dialogue with a woman and you're using this formula. You're not forcing questions out of yourself, not afraid of silence, but easily picking up her words, adding emotion, and leading the conversation so that it never runs dry. And you know what she thinks in that moment? With him, it's never boring. With him, it's fun. With him, it's interesting. With him, I want to meet again. Let's touch on a very interesting topic. Tests. Any woman will test you, not because she's mean or wants to harm you. It's her nature. She needs to understand, are you the real deal or just playing the role of a confident guy? And this is exactly where most men collapse. How does this look? She may throw a provocative question.
You probably say that to all the women, right? She may raise her voice on purpose or say something insulting. You're weird. She may create a pause and watch how you squirm. And if at that moment you start justifying yourself, getting nervous or offended, consider that you've failed the test. Why is this so important? Because a woman doesn't listen to your words, she reads your reactions. If her small jab knocks you out of balance, it means inside you're not as confident as you're trying to show, and then her interest disappears. So what should you do? Rule number 1, stay calm. Don't dive into her negativity, don't give in to emotions. She raises her voice, you respond evenly and calmly. She tries to provoke aggression, you smile and answer with light irony. Rule number 2, turn her test into a joke or teasing. Here are examples. You probably say that to all the women, right? You, yes, I have a schedule. 3 compliments a day for each. You just hit the happy hour. Or she, how many women have you dated? You, today? Not many. She, buy me a cocktail. You, of course, and let me just give you the PIN code to my card right away, since we're being so generous. Do you get the principle? You don't justify yourself. You don't defend yourself. You exaggerate her words to the absurd, and that is exactly what shows your strength. Number 3, don't be afraid to set boundaries if she's really pushing too far, but do it without anger. She starts being rude, you calmly, with a smile, listen, people don't talk to me like that. If you want to communicate, let's keep it respectful. This is not an attack. This is a demonstration of boundaries, and boundaries are what women respect in men. I want you to understand one simple thing. Tests are not a sign that something is wrong with you. On the contrary, it's a signal that she's interested and wants to make sure you're not just another pushover. So don't take them as a threat. Take them as a game. The calmer and with more humor you pass her tests, the higher you rise in her eyes. And now the very thing you watched this video for, the secret technique that changes everything. It seems obvious, but nobody notices it. It is the one that instantly raises your value in the eyes of a woman and even in your own eyes. And it sounds like this. Forget what it means to be convenient for her. Look, most guys make the same fatal mistake. As soon as they see a woman they like, they stop being themselves. They start bending under her every desire. She says, I want to go there. He's already driving her there. She suggests a type of food he doesn't like. He agrees. She sets a time that's inconvenient for him. He adjusts. And all this just to not scare her off. But here's the paradox. The more convenient you become, the faster she loses interest. Because a man who's ready to sacrifice his own desires for her whims is showing, I'm not the one in charge. I'll do as you say. My happiness depends on you. And that instantly puts you in a weak position. Remember this simple truth. A man's happiness is, I want. A woman's happiness is, he wants. This is biology, psychology, nature. A woman is drawn to the one who sets the rules of the game himself. That's why real men don't run around trying to satisfy her every whim. They live their lives and invite a woman into that flow. Here's a real-life example. Let's say Saturday evening works best for you, but she says, no, only Friday during the day. The average guy immediately reshuffles his schedule, cancels plans, and goes. But the man who knows this technique says, listen, Friday's booked for me. Let's do Saturday evening. We'll actually have proper time together. And that's it. You didn't budge from your position. You showed that your life has priority, and she must fit into your rhythm. And you know what? This doesn't push her away. It attracts her even more. Because next to such a man, a woman feels strength. Even to this day, I've had plenty of cases where I hold my position, and you know what? The woman adjusts to me. She shifts her plans for a chance to meet me. There are exceptions, but usually that's just an attempt to manipulate you. You must understand, Being convenient means becoming just another one from the crowd. And the crowd never inspires desire. Real attraction is born only where there is a leader, there is direction, there is a man who moves forward and is not afraid of being lost. Tell me honestly, is any of this really difficult? No, these are simple steps that you can start applying today. Grab your phone, open notes, and write down the key ideas that struck you personally. So you won't forget, so tomorrow you'll already act differently. And most importantly, apply it. Because listening is one thing, but feeling how your life truly changes when women start looking at you with different eyes is another. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments what main insight you took for yourself today. See you in the next videos.